Hey, this is John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. I am with Joe Bonamassa, the Ryman Auditorium. Joe!
Nice to be back, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, great seeing you, man. I know this is first day of the tour. You got a ton going on, so thanks for taking a minute and talking to us.
Anytime. I enjoyed our last get-together.
Oh, it was great.
The rig rundown. I don't think we got into too much trouble. We kept it straight and narrow. I liked it. I liked how it went down. So
Clean
here we are
business.
again.
Okay. So, okay, let's start with this. I just heard you playing this during rehearsal. Very cool guitar. Let's hear the story.
This is a guitar that a friend of mine named Dave Walsh, who sold me my first vintage guitar when I was a kid. And my parents let me use the savings bond that my great-grandmother gave me. I think it was like $4,000. And I bought an old Strat from Dave way back, and that was my baby, and it's a 07. It's still around.
Yeah.
I know the guy who's got it. And anyway, he had this guitar. When I first saw it, it had a lipstick pickup and a late 60s, obviously it's 68 Thinline, and a late 60s Tele pickup in it. And about 30 years later, I was at Dave's house and we were making a deal on some other stuff. I said, Dave, do you have that Thinline? I always loved that Thinline with the Parsons White. It's like original Parsons White B-bender. And he did, and he goes, I don't think I want to sell it. And then I noticed he had a price tag in it from when we brought it to a guitar shop. I'm like, come on, man, let's do it. So he told me after I bought it that that it had a route for a humbucker, but he had the original pick guard, and I go, that's even better. So I stuck a patent number from the mid-60s in there, and then this is a Seymour Duncan pickup from, this is the one they make called the Bludgeon, which is a replica of the Nocaster. So it's hot, so it's like a 9.5. And it doesn't howl. I can get it really loud. I can get it through all this stuff, and it doesn't howl whatsoever.
We just heard it, and trust me, it was loud.
It's loud.
Yeah,
and you would think with an FO and a Tele, it would be a problem. Yeah. But Joe Glazier refretted it, as he does most of the guitars you will see here today. And it's missing a screw. I don't know what's happened to that, but I think the pick guard's going to stay on. But it's a cool guitar, and it's very song specific. This is a song I wrote when One Door Opens from our royalty album, and the title cut Time Clocks is why it's here today. Yeah. So it's a great working man's B-bender Tele. And I just, again, like as we'll see through this demonstration, if it's been done, just leave it and play it. Use it as a tool. Yeah. You don't have to restore it. It's never going to not have a humbucker here, you know? Yeah. If it's mint, then don't cut into it and put a humbucker. If it's been like this, you're good, you know? So this is a tool. It's a really cool tool. Yeah, well, it was, I love the way you're using it on that song. Sounded
and
I like 68 Tele necks. They're really cool. They have a nice profile. You know, they wear out nice like the 50s, the maple cap ones, and they got the original bridge and everything. So
when you're switching from guitar to guitar, is there much of an adjustment with your hands, or just come to you
just
immediately?
Got to get your head around it. Yeah. And we rehearsed obviously, and we select the guitars day one. So every time the guitar comes out for each song, I'm ready for that neck profile. For that particular song. It's the way the volume works, and we'll show you later on with the amps, how everything is kind of symbiotic. Okay,
this I remember this from last time.
You remember this from last time? This was was a lot better condition last time. This one, for some reason, this one here is a guitar that I've had now almost 10 years. And it's the two margaritas, El Compadre on Sunset Boulevard, walk over to Guitar Center, make an irrational decision. Sometimes that stuff works out.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 51 Nocaster with a PAF in the front and an original pickup in the back, and it's out of phase, and it just works. And I've said this, this is like, because you go like, everybody knows I have a collection of guitars. And they'll be like, hey, what's your desert island guitar? And I always say it's the Nocaster, because I can play any of the tunes in my set with it. I can roll the tone off, and it kind of sounds a little bit like a Les Paul. Obviously, put it in the front pickup, definitely sounds like a Les Paul. But then it'll twang, it will rock like Pete Townsend. I mean, it'll take your face off, but it'll just get super quiet. And it's just, the best guitar I own.
Yeah, that's the one you played on the Jules Holland one.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that was such an amazing performance, and I watched it, I don't know how many times, and you were just plugged straight into that twin.
Straight into the twin, yeah.
And
it works.
What blew my mind about it is the last time we were here, you let me play that a little bit, and it was like played like a truck, man.
It still plays like a truck. It's just got newer strings. I like it plays like a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, you don't want to over-engineer a guitar to where it plays perfectly and nothing bugs you about it, because sometimes the fight is where the real magic happens. If it fights you a little bit,
Yeah.
then keep it there.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Well,
like these saddles, I probably should put a shim on the neck and bring these screws up, but because it tears up your
oh
palm.
God, yeah, that's a gouger
But
right
I kind of
there.
like it. I've played 1,000 shows on this. It's all right. So, but you know, it's other than the humbucking pickup, it's pretty straight, original finish. But I mean, last time you saw it was had paint up to here, so it's getting worn out. And I don't wear stuff out, but I've worn this out.
Yeah,
you know?
high mileage.
New frets, so this has got every 10 years. I think Glazier will refret it for me. So.
Oh.
the NoCaster.
Very cool. Okay, and y'all check out that Jules Holland show. It's just unbelievable performance.
All right, this is a 55 Strat, pretty much stock, except for the Bakelite repair.
Yeah, that's
It's
a nice
more
touch.
like Bakelite preservation, and it's just white electrical tape that because a lot of times these get cracks, and if you play hard, the string will flex and sometimes catch underneath and rip the top of the cover off.
Sure.
But this one we use for pain and sorrow when we play it. It's yet to be played on this tour. Nothing's been played on this tour. We've gone on about 2 hours. But so it's a drop down a whole step. So it's got big fat strings on. And it's just a cool old Strat. And it's light. If you don't like that, I think it's like a 7-pounder.
Wow, that is light. And the three-way.
Always a 3-way. I'll wedge it, and if not, I'll live with it, you know? Yeah, I mean, I wedge it, and sometimes I have other things where I have to put tape on the back and whatever, and it's just a good, you know, it's a great old Strat, and it sounds good, and this is also refretted, so it's not the original frets, it's just a 55, late 55 Strat.
Just the perfect 55 Strat,
It's a
that's
great
all.
Strat. No, I'll show you the perfect 55 Strat in a minute. Here's one that's new to the tour.
Oh, wow.
Different era Strat than people normally see me play. This is a mid-65 in candy apple red, which is the most common custom color you'll see on Strats. That and maybe Olympic white or blonde. But this one came to me a few months ago, and there's something about mid-65 pickups. I actually have to lower them because they have a lot of output, and they have a very specific sound. And for the songs that we're playing on it, it works, and it looks cool as hell because it's red.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And I think that's why everybody wanted a red Strat back in the day, because it's a cool red Strat. You know?
Right.
They should have ordered Burgundy Mist. They have a lot more money.
So do you just like at the beginning of the tour, do you just kind of audition every guitar you have and find the right
Yeah,
fit?
and if it's not right for the song, it doesn't come out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm not going to play something that fights and isn't right for the song. You have to be very specific about. And this one works for this song, Known Unknowns, and it'll work for this Love Ain't a Love Song version that we're doing now. And again, it's cool. And again, refretted and intonated, so it plays in tune.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's great.
it's a tool. And that, you know, the back plate's off because the back plate's never lined up. You know, and I use all 5 strings. I don't use a trim. And you know, so you have to pull the back plate off. So you restring it. It's just one of those things.
Sure.
So, anyway, that's the 60. That's new. So if I hate it tonight, you can chop it out of the vid. You can go back home.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's. I think fans they like to see. I mean, seeing what guitar you're playing on the song is kind of like a thing. Like I like seeing Skinner on, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of a thrill.
It's
You're
kind of a thing.
Okay, there.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
is.
to see the gear.
Yeah.
Now, this is a classic example of Instagramming do's and don'ts. The do's is just put a picture of it online. People go, oh wow, what a cool 55 Strat. This is Bonnie. This is the guitar I've had a long time. Bought from Trevor Boone over at Emerald City Guitar.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it last night. He called me and said, hey, you know, it's the coolest Strat I've ever seen. Okay, send it to me. Had 1 fret job. And Bonnie Bramlett, the legendary Bonnie Bramlett, played on Reese Winans' solo record that I produced with Josh Smith.
Oh, wow.
And she had me sign her guitar, I think it's Trigger, with a knife. I carved my name in it, along with Jimmy Hall, and
Yeah.
I mean, like the list is crazy. I think Jerry Garcia.
Oh, sure.
I was so touched by it. I said, I want to return the favor. I'm just so honored. So she was coming to sing with us in St. Louis, and I said, hey, bring your Dremel. She goes, oh, I'm bringing it. So I had to figure out what guitar she was going to sign. It was this one.
Oh,
so
that's
she
great.
carved her name, 2018, Bonnie Bramlett. So
Oh, that's great.
Ever became known as the Bonnie Strat. The don'ts of Instagram is ever post a picture of a legendary singer, Hall of Famer, carving their name into into a guitar, because they're like, I can't believe you're scratching the paint like that. I'm like,
Please.
really? She's like, wait, are we looking at the same thing?
That's great.
But it's a forever guitar, and it's the best one. And it's my favorite Strats, my favorite neck profile, and it just has an extra 5 or 10% that other Strats don't have, and it's a personal thing. It's not anything that there's nothing set in stone. It's just I was like this one, stays in tune and just rules the world.
That's great. Well, and the Strat's perfect for Bonnie, because wasn't that when Clapton made the switch to Strats when he was playing with them?
Yeah, he would play like a triple pickup custom. You'd see him play that.
Right,
I think he had
okay.
the 335 with Delaney and Bonnie, and he had Brownie, the Strat, and then he had I think eventually Blackie came involved, but he was playing Strats and Les Pauls as well. But yeah, this is my favorite.
Oh, that's great.
4-digit number, it's all right.
Yeah.
And Bonnie Bramlett, it's the Bonnie Strat.
That's as cool as it gets.
Now this one is the newest guitar we have. This is a 1976 Bicentennial Firebird.
Oh,
46
cool.
years old. I'm 45, so I was born in 77. This is made in 76. And we have this song called Curtain Call, which requires open G. But it also requires a solo in regular, like not a non-slide solo.
Yeah.
In G minor, which I've had to learn different patterns in open G. You have to keep your concentration. You can clam real hard on it.
Yeah.
But it's a good guitar for this song, and it looks cool on stage.
Oh, it looks great.
And I was on the cover of Guitar World magazine with Eric Gales with this guitar, and it's fun. I've had it for a minute, and I haven't found a use for it yet. But these Bicentennial Firebirds are great for the money.
Huh.
Like if you had a 64 in Polaris white, it would be incredibly expensive.
Crazy, yeah.
But these things are really, they're expensive now because everything is expensive, including a latte. But what I'm saying is, the price point these are, everybody's good is like a mid-60s Firebird, and they're great. No volute. Banjo tuners.
Love the banjo
tuners sucked in 64 and they sucked in 76. Okay, that's Big D. Okay, and they suck now, but they're cool as hell.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? It worked for Johnny Winter.
Yeah,
works
exactly.
For me.
You're right.
And worked for Howlin' Wolf.
Right. And that album you did with Eric Gales was just amazing, man.
Yeah, I'm so proud of it.
God, I loved it because it just got him out there. It seemed to get him on the radar more.
He we helped him get some great songs.
Yeah.
And he dug deep. He sang his ass off and he played his ass off, as he always does.
Yeah.
But he made an album that's concise and connects to people on not only just a guitar level, but a message level.
Right.
People connect to it on the message, and we worked real hard on that.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of him, and I'm so proud of the record.
Yeah, killer album.
Next one.
Old thing.
No, this is a new guitar.
Oh, really?
This is a not a prototype. It's just something that Gibson was nice enough to make me. This is a replica of Amos. Even with the little chunk coming
Right.
out.
They
did a good job. They did a great job.
I thought it
and
was.
And this thing sounds great. This comes out of the Murphy lab, and Tom Murphy did a really nice job aging it. Really nice checking on it. Good neck profile, and it's light.
That is light. Did they do a whole run of Amos's?
No, that possibly will come later, but this is just a one-off, so I can take a guitar that isn't so expensive.
Yeah.
And one of a kind. I mean, Amos is one of a kind.
Oh yeah.
And it's not a V. It's that V.
Yeah.
So and honestly, it sounds great. And it sounds like a Carina V.
Yeah.
And it's stock Gibson pickup, stock everything. I got it like 3 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Cool. So, yeah, kudos to them. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Same serial number.
This is the Shakedown Cruise for that. That's great.
This is a rare guitar. It's a 1964 mono ES-355.
Great.
So if you notice, there's no baritone, and it's mono. So
Cool.
it's like it's a basically a 335
Yeah.
in electronics with ebony board and gold parts and a guard that will most likely gas and turn all this green. But I bought this from the original owner in Georgia,
Oh, how cool.
and they wanted me to have it, and we made a deal on it. And I said, I promise you, I'll play it on stage. And they probably thought, oh, whatever. And then next night, it's on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
So we use it every night. It's cool.
Dust Bowls at a...
It's a Dust Bowl guitar because I'm capo. You need the wiggle stick.
Right.
I call it five-speed transmission.
Yeah, I love the 5-speed.
You got to clutch it every once in a while. But this one being a 64 has nylon saddles.
Yeah.
And I think that does something to the sound. It just kind of takes a little bit of the 2K off. It's kind of like adding tonic water to gin.
To your chin, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
It takes a little bit of the knife between the eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been a really nice addition to the touring set, and it looks cool. And it's not easy to find factory mono, no baritone.
Right.
And it's in phase, and it's just ruling. So
Yeah. And it's in amazing shape.
it's not bad.
I mean, for now.
No, I don't beat up guitars. I mean, I don't really beat them up.
Heavens no.
This is a guitar that's on loan for the year, and we're gonna loan it to somebody else. Belongs to my friend Richard. It's a 1960 Sunburst Les Paul.
Wow.
And he's going to sell it for charity.
Oh, wow.
And he bought it in, I believe, 1967. He'll be here tonight. Bought it in 1967, and I think he paid $300 for it. He's kept it. He used to work for Gibson, and so he was nice enough to loan it to me for a year. We've been taking it around the world, getting some use out of it. It was at the Albert Hall and blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And, it'll make an appearance, I think, on the DVD. And somebody's going to get a great burst. And
With a real history.
And a lot of money's going to go to a great cause. So when he approached me through Walter Carter, Christy Carter at Carter's Vintage, I was like, wait a minute, I get to play a cool guitar for a year? and a lot of people benefit from it? I'm like, sold.
Yeah,
And
right.
we're going to try to get into somebody else's hands too, that could take care of it and tour around a little bit. So it's nice and flamey, but he's had it for years. So,
that's great.
And it's like it's a cool piece of history. It proves they're still out there.
Yeah.
This next one, the one I just got, it's a 58, and it's not perfect. It's got a few issues, but it's a nice burst, plain top, nice color, shallers. It's like, why do you keep the shallers on? It's fucking cool.
Yeah, they are cool.
And I got this from Norm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, you guys have done some guitar deals.
We've done some guitar, and we did this guitar deal from Norm's hospital bed. And thankfully, Norm's doing much better. He's back in the store. We love him. We love you, Norm. And Norm, after he had his surgery, he was still doing guitar deals from his hospital bed. I'm like, man, dude, take a breather. It's him.
Yeah, that's life's blood, man.
It's ingrained in his DNA.
Yeah.
So that was part of the. It was just, it walked into a store, and then I made the deal with the guy who was his brother's, and it's a really nice 58 light, it's like 8.5.
Wow. God.
So it's making its stage debut tonight after Joe Glazier refretted it.
Great. Wow. Beautiful, man.
So let's see what else we got.
It's amazing how red that neck is, and there's just no red.
Sometimes they fade, sometimes not. This is pretty red too.
Yeah.
This is a 1960.
Oh.
This was the one that they found in England, outside of Birmingham.
Oh, right. Right.
And it was found under a set of stairs. And they brought it into ATB Guitars, my friend Mike's shop, for an appraisal. And they thought it was worth 2,000 pounds. And he was like, maybe it's a little bit more. The story was that he bought it out of the back of Melody Maker magazine for 150 pounds back in 1967 after he saw Eric Clapton. So we call this the Royal Albert because after a little bit of negotiation, Mike was nice enough to bring it down. And when I first saw it, it didn't have the pick guard. I thought I would need to source an original pick guard. and it had a Bigsby on it, which I knew was on borrowed time.
Yeah.
The 5-speed's going, and especially because it's not an original Bigsby guitar. Bigsby was added after, and so he brings it down to Royal Albert Hall. The tuners are roached, the frets are roached. It's a mess.
Yeah, I saw the before pictures when you first got it.
I looked at it, I was like, doesn't need much. It needs a trip to Nashville. It needs, it needs Nick and Joe Glazer and the whole team down there. Yeah. Nick did it in 2 days.
Oh, that's great.
Right? So, but when I first saw the pickguard with the switch added, I was like, oh, this is going back on there. And that's the original pickguard with some sort of phase switch that they put in and ran through the ring. There's 2 little holes in the ring that went down into the PS. These PAFs were a gift from my friend Charlie Daughtry, who said, "Hey man, just get it up and running. Happy birthday." The other pickups were dead. So, and we're using it, and it just sounds amazing. I mean, it's what they call a double O. It's 00252, which means very early 1960s. So it's basically a 59 profile neck. It is a 59 profile neck and neck tenor.
And I love how red that is from the Bigsby, right?
Yeah, I mean, stick it out in the sun tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'll even it out. Wow.
A couple outside shows, man, that thing will be gone. So, but this is it was just a nice rescue, and I don't need another one. Like I need one like a hole in head, but this is a nice guitar, and it's a great playing sounding Les Paul.
It sounded great. Yeah. During sound check, that sounded amazing.
So, and Gibson Custom gave me the tuners the other day because the other ones are bent.
Cool. So those are new.
Those are reissue tuners.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fine.
Well, yeah, they look like the deal.
Because the amount of times it's going to be restrung. Anyway. And then this is a guitar I've had for a long time. This is a 59 Les Paul standard. This is called the Snakebite.
Yeah.
And I call it the Snakebite because looks like it had a snake bite. It had a Bigsby on it at one point, kind of like the one I just showed you. But these ones here in this serial number range, this is 1948. They have peculiar small necks. They're very strange.
That's great, man.
So they're and other guitars in that serial number range, Carmelita, Nicky, all that, they have a slightly Lazarus, the guitar that we rescued a couple of years ago, have a very similar neck.
Wow. So is that your favorite or favorite neck anyway?
I like this guitar. It's I use it for I think a lot tonight, and it was bought in a pawn shop in the mid '80s for $700. Wow. The guy gave me the receipt. He paid $700. Yeah, they're still out there.
I love that. I love that, man.
It's not. I mean, obviously it's beat up, but it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a nice sounding Les Paul. And then we have one more. This guitar resides here at the Ryman Auditorium. I've owned it for 10 years, and I bought it the same day as I made my debut on this stage. So it means a lot to me. And when they asked me if I had any guitars I could loan to them for their rotunda, I said this came to mind. This is Howard A. Reed. This is Howard Reed's 55 factory black Stratocaster. And it was ordered at McCord's Music in Dallas. And Howard spent a brief time playing with Gene Vincent in the Blue Caps. So there's a very famous shot of him in this kind of white sailor's hat and this guitar in 1957, 58. And it was sold after Howard died in 1979 to Bill Blackburn, who wrote some very famous books about Stratocasters, Telecasters. Very nice guy. And when Bill got ill, unfortunately, in 2013, he sold this through Gruen's, and I picked it up because I had a poster of this on my wall when I was like 10 or 11. I thought this was the coolest Strat ever made. I just lust after it. I never thought I'd get to see it, let alone own it. But when I hand this to you, there's one thing I'd like you to notice about this guitar. What do you notice about that?
Boy, it is really heavy.
It's heavy.
It is really heavy.
And
man.
It's about 9.5 pounds.
Ooh, God.
For a Strat, it's heavy.
Yeah.
But a lot of solid color Fenders from the mid 50s tended to be heavier. I don't know why that just was a thing. But this guitar above all, and it needs frets. I can't refret it. I don't have the heart to refret it. It's not. It'll go to somebody else. But this guitar above all represents the journey that I've taken from my little bedroom in Yorkville, New York, to the stage here at the Ryman. Going, if you stare at a damn guitar long enough, you may own it. And that's pretty much how it was. And I know this is all cork sniffing stuff, and I'm very self-aware, but I'm very lucky to have been doing this for as long as I have, and to be as passionate about guitars for now, geez, I'm 41 years, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I started playing when I was 4. And I started wanting to collect guitars when I was 6. So I parlayed my first communion money. Like I told you, my great-grandmother's savings bonds, and I'd buy this and I'd trade that, and I parlayed all this. This wasn't, you know, I'm not a trust fund baby by any standards. So this guitar represents a lot of sweat and toil and hard work to get to this point in my life. And I never thought I would get to this point in life where I get to talk to you on this stage and to show off this guitar. So when we're done with this tonight, it comes out once a year. We play here once a year. Comes out once a year out of the rotunda, then they stick it back in.
So are you going to actually play tonight?
We're going to see.
God, that's amazing.
So that's it. This guitar does not travel with us, so technically it's not in the rig.
Yeah.
But it's worth a mention. It is in the room.
Right.
So if you're here at the Ryman taking the tour, after you get done, you know, going through all the beautiful memorabilia they have, take note of this little black Strat.
Yeah.
Because it's probably, if it's not the first, it's one of the first 2 or 3.
I see it every time I come here, by the way. Yeah, for years I've been visiting this guitar every time I come here.
So it's special.
Isn't that amazing? You started with one little Chiquita, and from that, all this.
And then I graduated to a JB Player. A Japanese Strat copy. I liked it because it had my initials on it. Yeah. And now look around. Oh God, here we go.
Oh yeah.
So that's the guitars. I'll take you through the rig.
Yeah. Let's. Do you want to plug in a Les Paul so we can hear some of this stuff?
Yeah, we'll plug it all in.
Okay, so this is Tonehenge. So.
Well, we call it. I don't know if I don't say this, and we may get in trouble for this, but it bears repeating. I've said it out loud a few times. It is the amp shanty. It's like a series of box dwellings.
It is.
That doesn't seem to make any sense, and it shouldn't. Honestly, it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
What it basically is if we go back and look at my rig from 2009 when I played Albert Hall the first time, and I had the 2 heads, I had 4 heads, and the 2 cabs. It's a very bougie version of that. Okay, so instead of having 4, it's 7, but with an if and a but.
Okay.
So what it is if you're looking at that black cabinet, that was made by Peter Van Wilden. That has 2 sets of EV12Ls.
Wow.
Okay, and it's split into 2 2x12 cabinets, which has 2 1987 Marshall Jubilees running at the same time.
Wow.
One has effects. One has effects, and one's dry. So here's what it sounds like, just dry.
Wow.
Still a classic Boss DD2. Works through the loop.
Yeah.
And the Leslie, which is a Hughes and Kettner Rotosphere, which I've now collected 4 of them because they do quit every once in a while.
Sure.
So, but. So there's your effects. Very simple pedal board. This is from 2012. It's the Boomer board. And everybody goes, well, why don't you do this? I go, it still works. And it's from 2012. Dave Freeman did a great job.
Yeah.
And so this setting A, if you look at setting A, you're hearing is the 2 Marshall Jubilees in 2 of these high-power Tweed twins. You're going to say they're not Tweed, Joe. They're black. I had Fender custom made me some black cases, so the rig looked more uniform.
But these are your amps.
These are the JB twins. These are actually the prototypes. We just ripped the chassis out. So it looks more uniform, but these are just Tweed twins. So this is the sound with the Tweed twins and a little bit of delay. So it's really good for, you know, clean rhythm. it's really touch sensitive, where you can, you know, you get.
Wow.
So it cleans up really nice, you know.
Beautiful.
And now you're going to say, Joe, but you have a Leslie on stage. What the fuck? So here's what we got. So that's setting A. That's pretty much a lot of my rhythm playing. That's a lot of the kind of bluesier solos.
Yeah.
It's all of that. So the setting 2, actually we'll go to setting C. Setting C is this Dumble 50 watt with the 2 Jubilees. And that's set to clean. But you're driving the amp, so. So that one's good to do riffs. Wow. It's like super articulate and tight, you know? It's super tight, and it works great with Fenders, and we can good for the Pog. It's almost cliche at this point, but the Pog works.
It's fabulous, man.
So that's that sound, and that's got a little TC chorus on it. You can take a picture of that.
Oh. And
only through that Dumble, so it just widens it out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's so subtle, you don't even, yeah.
Again, it shouldn't work. None of this should be in phase. None of this should be.
Yeah, do you have any phasing issues?
Well, we have these Layla boxes, so you've used for years, and you just keep hitting buttons until you get the most bass. Till you're not electrocuted until you get the most bass, and you're good. So now here comes the comparisons to Eric Johnson. So this one here is the 2 Dumble combos and this Mesa Boogie Revolver, which we believe is the last one that Mesa Boogie had.
Oh.
So it's basically a single 12 that rotates. It's not a baffle, it's actual speakers. So this has got reverb on it. It's got a lot of reverb on it. So now, wow. But in context, it does the thing. So if you want the super hyper overdrive, very Eric Johnson-y kind of thing.
Yes, we do.
That's what it does. And I do too, and that's why I fucking bring it. Yeah. So
God, isn't it great to be on tour? You can just hear this stuff again. I
mean,
like,
it's been great.
Don't you miss that when you're not playing?
I did miss it. I'm going to back the reverb down. I think it's freaking crazy. Better. And then the Leslie does rotate, so you do get a little wobble.
Yeah.
But it's not enough wobble to move the needle. So I'm basically using it for chorusing.
Yeah.
So it's like a, you know. The cool thing is you hear all the notes. It doesn't squish.
Yeah.
And it's because of the EVs and because of these.
Wow.
And that's it. That's the whole thing. It's crazy obnoxious. I know. I'll admit it. Hi, I'm Joe, and this is fucking obnoxious.
Well, so the last time we saw you,
There's 2 twins and 2 Dumbles.
yeah, the twins blew my mind. It's like, I'm going to buy one, man.
They're good amps.
Well, and you said, you know, I think it'd be a little loud for you. And I thought, and I tried one out, and you were right.
They're loud.
I would get fired if I was that loud.
They're loud. I mean, I'd get fired. I should be fired for this. But it works.
God, it's great, man. You know, the EVs surprised me because they're
less bright than Celestials.
Yeah.
That's the internet versus reality.
Yeah.
The EVs actually take some of the sizzle off the. And you know who I learned that from? Zach Wild.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
He taught me that years and years and years ago, because he would use combination of EVs because he wanted a tight. Because his amps were at the time were JCM 800-ish things.
Yeah.
And he wanted that.
God.
You know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. You know. The baffle moving.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the rig. It's unfortunately it still sounds like me. I could get away with a couple of twins and a 2 screamer. It sounds like me. It's never going to change. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to ride this out. And I got my sailboat. This is a sailboat rig rundown. It's like, what's the difference? Same thing every fucking time. Same Eric Johnson impersonation, same Too Loud, same everything. What do you want from me?
Joe, I just want more of this,
been
man.
entertained online for 30 minutes.
You know what blows my mind? It's like when I hear you play, like I'll hear you play in with a Telecaster, like a country thing, and you sound like an authentic country dude. And then I'll hear you do like a bluegrass acoustic thing, and it sounds like an authentic bluegrass acoustic. And then if you want to, you can sound like Eric Johnson. It kind of blows my mind. You can cop anything, man.
I'm the Line 6 Variax of guitar players. I got like a button right on the top. Just routed in there. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it's.
I learned from Gatton. You know, Gatton was like, if you like it, learn it.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah, that dude is fluent in every language.
He was fluent in jazz and Americana and bluegrass, country,
rockabilly stuff.
Rockabilly.
Oh God!
You know, I mean, I got into, you know, I loved Jethro Tull as much as I loved, Del McCoury. You know, so I was like, which I believe both have stood on this stage, Jethro Tull and Del.
Oh
McCoury.
sure, yeah, absolutely.
Del probably more than Ian.
Right.
So that's it. That's it, John. That's all I got for you. Humble, meager, meek-sounding rig.
Well, it's cool to hear you back on Marshalls. That's what
everybody said. They were like, they didn't go anywhere. I just like when we had the horns and the larger format blues band.
It's kind of too much.
It was too much.
Yeah.
You know, and now that we're kind of more open, and I can cover more ground,
the
Marshalls made sense. And I tell you, they run a lot better if they're separated off the cabinet.
Yeah.
The reason why they're not up here, they're in a rack, and the reliability, if you put some fans on them.
Yeah.
And that was seriously a big discovery. Going, why do these things keep kicking off? Why do these things keep kicking off? And now now watch. It'll blow up tonight.
Yeah.
But no, that's. Getting them off the deck really helped that. So,
yeah, they sound amazing.
And that's it, though. All the pedals are by the Guitar Center.
Yeah. That's what I love about the pedal board. Actually, a kid with a paper route could save up and buy basically this rig.
My first wah was my communion money. Yeah, but now Fender painted this one. This is a Lake Placid blue. Fender painted it for me.
That.
And then the fuzz face only goes on the twin, so it doesn't collapse the whole rig. You know? So it only goes on the twin, so it symbiotically tells the rig that it's doing something, but it doesn't collapse the Marshalls. And by the way, once again, when you dime a fuzz face, original or a new one, the noise floor is just it's perfect. I'm just. You hear that? I can't hear it. But you know, obviously, you know, here and then the overrated special, which is basically for more. I use it kind of more like a Gilmore thing, you know, if I'm doing. And then the green box, the tube screamer, which is more mid-range. Flanger, $80. All self-explanatory, and the secret weapon is the super trem, because it gives you a little gain boost. Just a little nudge in the mids. I don't know why, it just does.
Yeah.
And I don't use it really for trem. Had one of these for 15 years, so. Well, that's it.
Well, Joe, man, that was a treat.
Wait till 8 o'clock, then it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, can't thank you enough, man. Yeah,
that's always, John.
Yeah.
And we cut a song together. We cut that song.
That is the coolest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, we wrote a song together, and we cut it, and it's not for our Blues Deluxe record, but for something else. It's really it's a really cool song. Thank you guys for enduring me once again.
Till next time.